Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to CCxRC. I'm Tony, and this right here is the all-new ARRMA Infraction 4x4 mega truck. This has a brushed motor. You can get it for about 320 bucks at the time of making of this video, and that comes with a battery to run the truck. And this thing, you guys, it's got brush power in it, but if you want to go brushless with it, it's ready to handle that too. Let's open up the box and take a look. All right, you guys, looking here at the outside of the box, a couple things I'm noticing. First of all, it does have a new slipper assembly in here that we'll take a look at. The diffs are running a 37 tooth 1.35 mod diff. The spur gears now are actually running 32 pitch or 0.8 mod, which is good. Your spur gear, slipper gear, they're ready for that brushless power. In the old Megas, they were running 48 pitch, which made it a lot more expensive to upgrade to brushless. This thing's gonna be ready to handle it. Ball bearings throughout. You've got 4 of the gears in the diffs, metal gears, ready to rock and roll. And this thing is running the IC3 connectors right there on it, guys. Comes with the battery, as you can see it in the truck right there. All right, let's flip the box around real quick. See some of the other newness in this thing. So, showing you around the box here, there's a couple different color options. There is a teal one, teal and bronze. This is the red, white, and blue one that we'll see inside here. Right here, a lot of people want to see this. This is a 570 9-turn brushed motor. The modules still remove like they used to. And what I really like about it is that it has some knobby tires on it for one of these all-road cars. The other ones had slick tires, and they did all right, but we want to see it with some knobbies. All right, let's get it out of the box. Oh, there it is, you guys. Check it out. Instruction manuals, controller, a couple of tools. Got your charger in this box here. Be able to charge that IC3 NIM battery. Get this thing ready to go. And it's also in some shrink wrap there. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is get it out of here and see what we're dealing with. All right, let's peel off the cellophane. Wow. All right, that is one pretty looking truck right there. I kind of really like the size of it, and it still has some weight to it, even though they got rid of the metal chassis. We will bring up the big brother. I have one over here, and we'll take a look at it in comparison, but overall, on its own, I really like the size of it. Not seeing the other one, seeing it on the shelf, you guys, I think you're gonna think it's pretty dazzling. And it's a good size because it's much bigger than my 1/10 scale on-road cars. So it's not quite as big as the 1/7, but the 8th scale is kind of a neat size in between. All right, so let's talk about what we got here. Nice body, got some skid rails up on the top of the body to help protect it when you go sliding across the ground like that. Got a little roll cage part on the back here. And then on the very back, you've got this nice wing that you can cut down. It's got a bunch of different ribs on it, so you can trim it down if you want to have more downforce or less. We're going to be going with the optional gearing. You can get this going up to an amazing 30 miles per hour with the stock brushed motor. You can go much faster than that if you go ahead and convert it to brushless. But it's a great starting point. So we're going to take off the body because I definitely want to look at some of the other things. Plastic chassis definitely has that 3S lineup look to it. But the body, the design work, I like it. I dig it. I actually really like this colors. I would have chosen the red, white, and blue if it was up to me, or red, silver, blue, whatever you want to call it. But I like it. It's striking, and it just says fast to me. Red like this is cool. Overall, I still dig it. The design, the truck body, really cool. As always, on the inside, you get that don't just bash, blast. Right up there in the top of it, undercoated in silver. Got these nice little rubber pieces to make sure you don't lose that, that pin. I will say that they came out pretty easily. Some of them have been very tight and hard to remove. These were very easy to just pop off, and it was good to go. So you can see where that back end comes in here, mounts into the top. which is what is these rails. So, sweet. Now we're looking at what everybody's here to see, and that is the Infraction. So, first things I notice, the shock towers, like the 3S lineup, but they're much lower, allows you to have that sleek design for going fast. It does have some really big rock guards up front here, which in an on-road like this makes it be able to tackle all roads, which is what they're claiming this can do. So I like that a lot. That makes it truly an all-road car. They're going from the on-road stylings with this big foam bumper up in the front. The diffuser here in the rear. Just real nice so far. Everything I'm seeing, I'm liking. The 570 motor is definitely very long, and you know, we run 540s in a lot of cars, 550s getting a little bit more power. Now with that 570 at 9 turns, I don't have any other 9-turn brushed motors, so this will be interesting to see how it does. It does come with the battery in here. Again, I love Velcro, so having these Velcro straps is still a bonus to me. The battery does have this nice little wire management system built into the back here, so you can tie your wires up, not have them flopping all over the place. We remove it. It does come with a 3300 milliamp hour, 8.4 volt, 7-cell nickel metal hydride. It's a bump battery. These work great. The only thing with these is the more that you drive them, the more you see the decrease in the power being sent. Whereas a lipo, it's more constant until the very end and it just drops off. This is a pretty steady decline, so it's going to be faster at the beginning than at the end, right before you run out of juice. But it does come with that charger here. It'll take a little while to charge it with this, but you've got everything you need right here in the box, except for those 4 AA batteries that go in the controller. Alright guys, so right in here they tucked in the servo, and that is the S650 by Spectrum. It's 84 ounce-inches of torque. It's not the fastest thing. It says 20% more torque than previous ones, but you can definitely upgrade that and you can get more speed, more torque, and really throw the tires fast. What are we looking at here? Still running the same type of design with their center drive shafts here. It's plastic, just pulls right out like so. It's spring-loaded even, so you can get it in and out of there pretty easily. And then the new part is right here. That is how you tighten the slipper now. Before, there was a bolt in there. Earl Moore pointed this out. It was the first I'd seen it over on his channel. I'd looked at it to find out if it was 32 pitch, which this is now, and that is a big deal. 0.8 mod for the spur gear and the pinion gear. It's pretty much equivalent to 32 pitch. Whoa. And he was pointing out how it has now a nut right here and a spring to tighten down that slipper. And before, there was a bolt inside there. It does have a tool in here for you to be able to do some of the work on the car. There's several tools in here. So basically, you'd take this and you'd slide it in and over, right there, over that. And as you drive it, turn these wheels forward, basically be tightening it. I can feel it forcing against me here, and we're tightening it up pretty good. But if you do it the opposite and go in reverse, you will loosen it. So if you take both in reverse, you can loosen that slipper, and now that spring is actually very loose as I'm doing this. So back, go like that. So now we've got a lot of gap there between the springs, a little hard to see right here, which would have a lot of slip to it under throttle. But if I tighten it down and I drive this forward like so, it is tightening down that spring, and now we're pretty much tightened all the way down. There's different things you can do to adjust that. You could take out this brace here, pull the whole assembly out if you want, and tighten it by hand. Then you know exactly how tight you're getting it. And you know, some people will tighten it all the way down and then they'll back it off, you know, a certain amount. But I'm going to tighten mine down pretty significantly. I'll leave a little slip for this first run, but that is the way to adjust that slipper. Very simple setup here, guys, with removing these things. Basically, there's one screw on the bottom. You pull that out, remove this red piece here. It'll slide right down. This whole thing will then pop and pull out. So we can show you how to do that really quick. I want to show you guys some of this stuff because makes this such a great type of a first car for many people is the ease of working on these. So it's a 2.5 millimeter wrench. It does come with some, but your best bet is to get some aftermarket wrenches right away. So we'll remove this. I have a magnetic table mat here, which is nice. I can throw down my screws, they'll stick. So that is now out, and so we can actually pull this. You can use the Velcro or however, pry it out like so. That red piece is now falling all out. We're going to grab these two pull tabs right here on the back, and we're going to pull this and slide it out forward. So once we get it to break off there a little bit, we can just pull straight forward once you get it to stop being clipped in. And now you've got the assembly in your hands if you need to be able to work on any of this. But there you can actually see the new slipper assembly. And I'm super excited about this change that they've made here. I have broken 2 of them, so I'm super excited about it. We were doing a demonstration on how to tighten it, and we over tightened it, and snap. That was the first one that I did. And the other one was just me trying to tighten it on my own for some other bashing I was doing, and over tighten it and snapped it. This takes care of that problem. Don't have to deal with it. If you still have the old style, just be careful how much you do tighten it down. Once you feel it snug up, call it good enough. That's all I'll say. All right, so that is it. These are really easy to work on. Everything is just a few screws to pull out to be able to work on anything in this vehicle. The ESC sits on the top here, and because this does come with an impact on it, if you do run a lipo battery, you have to switch. There's 2 little tabs on here. Right in here, there's 2 little black tabs. And so what you want to do is you want to take this one here in the front and move it over to the lipo. What it does is, it's very important because if you run lipo batteries, you're not supposed to drain them too much. And so when you turn it down, or when you switch, you don't turn it down, when you switch this plug over, what it does is it makes the battery stop before it runs too low. So the ESC says, ooh, our voltage is 3.3 or 3.4, whatever they have it set at in here. We don't want it to get below 3.2, whatever is too low, and it'll stop it before that happens, which is really good. You've got plastic shocks up front. They have some decent big springs on there. They are adjustable, but you do have to use little clips, retainer clips, to put in there to be able to adjust your suspension. And I did not see any included in this package, so you'd have to get some retainers that would clip in here. I have a bunch from the old systems, but basically they pull down the spring and clip it in, and it sets your preload. I think because of what this is being used for, you're not jumping it. They don't include it because they've already got a really nice rate of spring action already going for these, and it does feel really good for a ready to run $320 car. The shocks feel good. Plastic up front, all of your turnbuckles, everything that you're running up here. Got lots of plastic rod ends, plastic drive shafts inside and throughout. Plastic chassis. You do have hex hardware, which is great. What else? You do have sway bars. You can't really see them in here, but there's a little metal sway bar that runs around the front and the rear. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's a $320 truck with a battery, gets you started. And then when you want to upgrade, you pull out this piece that I just had out with the motor. You unscrew it, open it up. There's 2 screws that hold the motor in. You pop those off. The motor will slide right out, and you can put a new one in there. Keep the pinion gear and put it on the new motor if you want, and keep driving. So it does have the tools to be able to work on it. I do think you want to upgrade from these to wrenches, even if you do the Amazon ones. That's, you know, better than these. I use the Vanquish ones here. I'll put links in the description below. These are probably going to be a little pricey for you if it's your first RC car. but this is what you can step up to if you stick in the hobby for a while. I'll also put the Amazon ones that I do use, or they say box on them, but they're made by a whole bunch of different people, different names, same wrenches, and they work plenty fine for your first RC car. And then you can step up to these, or I've got the MIP ones in here, ProTech, but the stock ones are actually just like these box ones here, not the stock. The Amazon ones are just like these ones right here, these box. These are just some wrenches I use for holding on to nuts, but they have a really thin profile and they fit inside of a lot of wheels and tires, so they work great in that for my monster trucks. So I still keep them around. Looking at the tires, they're stiff, which is good. They're on-road tires. They're grippy, which is good. And there's more tread than I thought there was going to be, a little bit deeper tread pattern, which is nice. It's going to give you some time for it to wear down. You're going to be using it, all that kind of stuff. And you're running it on-road, gives you plenty of time before they wear down. I'm going to be running mine hopefully on dirt. These are dBoots, and they call them Katars. And yeah, I think I like the look of them. That's what really interested me about this truck. I've seen a lot of dirt ovals. In fact, the first thing I did with my Infraction 6S, the big one, was to run it on dirt. And to run it in a dirt oval, or a figure 8 first. And then I took it to a dirt oval on my way back from the event that I was at. And yeah, awesome time in the dirt. A couple things about this thing. So it is running a Spectrum. This is their SLT3 controller. This is not their most advanced one. This comes with the 3S lineup. It does have over here limiters for the amount of speed that you have. If it's too fast for your kid right out of the box, you can put it down to 50%. Over here, 75 or 100, depending on how much of the speed you want them to have. You can also reverse your steering or your throttle. So if you're turning left but the car's turning right, there's a switch on here to be able to flip that. And same with the throttle. If you're pulling forward or back for it to go forward and it's going the wrong way, there's a little reverse switch to fix that problem. Other thing is steering rate up here. You can adjust how much steering it has. So if you're going really fast on road, a lot of times you want to turn that back because you don't want to have your reaction making it go and get out of control. And when you have it really low, you might make a big adjustment, but it'll just barely turn and it'll keep you from flipping it and wrecking it. So you've got your throttle centers here and your steering trims. So if it's not driving straight when you're just not holding anything, you adjust that trim and you can make the car drive straight. So that's that. It does not have AVC, which the Vendetta and the other ones do, with a nicer radio and an AVC receiver. You get that basically active vehicle control, which helps you keep it going in a straight line, helps you keep traction, and it works really great. But this doesn't have that because it's not going that fast out of the box. You can upgrade to radios and stuff that can handle it, or you can just steer like a lot of us do anyway. We don't use that AVC because when you get going too fast anyway, it actually will slow you down one, but it can actually cause you to wobble a little. So for drifting, some of that stuff, it's great, but for fast speed runs, it's not great. What else to talk about, guys? This thing is pretty rad. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna show you a comparison with the Big Brother. Here is our first comparison of these two trucks. We will start with the bodies on, and you can see it's quite a bit. If we go back to the back fairing here, it's quite a bit shorter. So 8th scale to 7th scale is a big difference, but it's a good size. Alrighty guys, so here is my Kyosho Chevelle, and this is a 10th scale car, and it is much smaller in comparison to this rig here. So let's take it off and just look at the chassis. That's where you really see the difference. So basically the back of it to the back of it. Here's where it ends, right here. That's that bumper on the front end. It is crazy shorter, but it feels like a great size. It's almost like that Goldilocks, right? Just right. It fits in there, and it's a beautiful size to just be able to take out and get into doing on-road or all-road RC cars. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. As always, I hope that this was informative. I hope that I got to most of the stuff that you guys may have had questions about. But other than that, we're just going to rip this thing. So see you in the next video.